Intro music coming in your ears right now. You can't hear it, but you will hear it. We have the man, Silas, young Silas.
What's going on? What's going on?
I'm the man now.
Special guest, you got the man.
I'm the man now. How are you, Silas? What's good, man? Welcome.
I'm good. Thank you guys for even inviting me to talk with you guys. I love the podcast, bro. I watched Justin's episode, and it was sick, man. But that was like in person. It was a whole different vibe when it's in person, you know. Now it's over the Zoom call. I'm excited.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. I used to love to do it in person. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Actually, the set's right back here. This is where we did it.
Where? Oh, I see it. Okay, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah. I do another podcast over there about weed. We could talk about weed later if you want. I know you like some weed. But anyway, let's get started, man. I'm really excited to be back remote, but we're going to have fun regardless here. I like that you're in your full Twitch setup there, man. What are you gaming on?
So for Twitch, I have two PCs. So right now I'm using my streaming PC, and it's also like when anybody wants to Zoom call with me, I use this PC for it just because my mic is connected to it, my webcam is connected to it, and my monitor is. But I have a whole separate gaming PC that I play like all my video games on and all that stuff like that. But yeah, so I pretty much use my Twitch setup for like everything. I make beats on this PC and all that good stuff too.
Yeah, power to the PC, man. So what's your go-to? What are you playing? COD?
Yeah, Call of Duty Warzone, man. It's fire.
Warzone?
I love it, dude. I love it.
Squads or trios or what are you
Trios. I got a nice little squad. We got like in the past, like I've been playing heavy for like 2 weeks, and we've gotten like 20 wins.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's pretty wild.
I be trying, man. I be trying.
Oh, just so you know, Brandon, you don't know who you're talking to right now. This is the man. When we're talking about Call of Duty, we talking about hip hop. We talking about Warzone. We talking about bars.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm just trying. I'm trying.
Now, this brother here is crazy. We had this thing going early on the early Call of Duty days, and all of the real direct Rat Pack fam would get together and we would run the maps and do some damage. But brother, I'm telling you, Brandon, you have no idea who you're talking to. Silas is crazy at Call of Duty, bro. Crazy, gifted crazy. I watched you do crazy numbers even before Warzone was like really the thing. Yeah. So for you to say you got 20 wins on Warzone right now, I'm not surprised. And you got to watch this man. He's crazy. What's your favorite weapon at this point?
It's this gun called the Growl. It's really good. It melts. The Growl.
MP7 anymore.
I was gonna say Growl and MP7 in Warzone melt. Like they just like destroy. But it's all about the sniper too. I'm really nice at sniping too. That's my thing right now. But it switches, man. Like last week I was heavy into shotguns because we would like hunker down in a room, and when someone would come through, just blow them up with a shotgun. They're done. But I don't know, man. It's fun. It's tactical. It makes my mind work in a different way than music does. I like it, you know. I like it.
Warzone's intense, man.
It's really intense, dude. And
it's
it's
a
like
lot more serious than like just run and gun Call of Duty multiplayer.
Yep. Because it's like you can't respond. You know, you get hit gulag, but if you don't get that, you can't respond. So yeah, I don't know. It's like an adrenaline rush, man. It reminds me of when I was a kid and playing Call of Duty when it first came out and stuff like that. So
what was your first Call of Duty?
It was Modern Warfare, the original one. Yeah. So like over 10 years ago. I was like a little kid. I was like maybe like 8 or 9, but I loved it. I was really good at it. So I was like, hey, I'm good at something. Let's keep playing.
That's good stuff. Anything else or exclusively Warzone?
Warzone. I mean, lately it's just been Warzone. I love scary games. I love like Resident Evil and stuff like that. Like all of that stuff is fun. I play a lot of
MLB The Show, I see also.
Yeah, I play Madden, MLB The Show. Sports games
there you go.
Yeah, sports games are fun. Like I'm really good at Madden. Like I feel like I'm trying to keep it humble, but I feel like if there's any rapper that wants to smoke in Madden, I'll give it to him.
Are you playing online or where do you play Madden?
I play online. I play with my friends. Usually play with my friends. Just play random people and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I think I'm in the top 14% online in Madden.
Seriously, we gotta play.
No.
I have it on my PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah,
I'll get your info after this. We'll play.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it, man. We'll do it. Well, enough video games. I like how you set that up, man, about how half of your brain sort of works when you do video games and half on the music. Like, talk a little bit about that, and how do you know when to do which?
So I feel like as a creative, I like to write later at night. I like to let like the day set in. Like I said, I'll usually start my day, brush my teeth, drink 2 bottles of water, and then kind of go through a list of stuff that I want to do today. Like, for instance, I've streamed on Twitch the past 5 days. So today I'm taking a break from that, and I'm just going to work on music pretty much all day. Like, after we're off of this, I'm just going to go write music and work on beats and think of ideas and stuff like that and listen to music. I like count that as working on music, honestly, like just listening to music and
research.
Yeah, like just catching a vibe and like hearing different sounds and stuff like that. And I feel like when it comes to video games, my mind is it's not distracted from the creative side, just because I feel like I'm so OCD and extra about my creative process that it kind of gives my mind like a little rest, but then I find myself with the OCD-ness and the perfectionist of, the creative side. I put it into like the video game. So I guess it never leaves. But it's, I don't know, man. It's like, I think it's the biggest blessing that I've ever had is just wanting to be a perfectionist at everything I do and being competitive. I think that's such a, like, that's what music is. Music is competitive, and there's, but that doesn't mean you don't have to have reverence and respect for the people that you're competitive towards, And I think that's what pushes me to be a better artist, a better gamer, or just a better person in general. Yeah.
I like that answer. Talk a little bit more about that competition. Like, when you go collab with another artist, how does that work? Are you like, you want to one up each other, or is it more like, how's that? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I have a song with Logic called These Days, and like my first verse I'm like rapping, and then my second verse I'm sort of like singing a little bit, and it's like more melodic, but then he comes with this like super hard rapping verse, and I'm like, it made me want to like take away my like singing verse and like just rap even harder. But I was like, to me it's like I've already laid my verse, and if like, if I did a feature for somebody and I don't know. I feel like if I laid a verse for somebody and then they went and switched their verse, I'd be like, damn, that makes me feel good. I can cuss on here, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I'd be like, damn, that makes me feel like really good because I inspired them and pushed them to, work harder or something like that. And that's happened. So, I mean, I have felt that way. I have gotten on songs with people, especially in the past, when I would do features more with like my friends and stuff like that, and they've like switched their verse. But I don't know. I feel like there's definitely times where like, man, I'll hear like an album, like Corday's album, man, like it pushed me just so far. And seeing like, I would study him every night on tour. I would watch him perform his entire set every single night if I could. And I would just be like in awe almost, like he's a year older than me, but he's so much better than me. And how do I get there? How do I, and what do I do? So I think it's stuff like that pushes me, and seeing, people like Damien and Lindahl and Big Limbo and Kajo and Bob, and, it's seeing all of these people and how good they are at music. It just makes me want to get so much better. Like it makes me want to be at that level where I'm like, okay, where someone else is looking at me like, I want to get so much better,
So how do you continue to like learn and grow now that we're in this kind of lockdown, like semi-lockdown now? I mean, you were talking about how much you learned on the road and watching Corday and everything. Like, how do you kind of get that? I mean, we're not going to have that this summer for sure.
Right. A huge thing, man, there's these videos. So like, I know we were talking about like what do we listen to? Right now it's Kanye West for me. Like Kanye West, Jay-Z, Memphis Bleak, all the old Rockefeller stuff. I'm bumping it right now. I'm just in that zone.
So rock Yeezus, right? Rock. That's the Yeezus that you're talking about. Like what? Like Black Album, Kanye, that time period, or
well,
like,
I'm listening to like College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Watch the Throne. All of those.
I got to jump in here.
Yep.
Just because you named some fire there, you named some legendary material for the sonics and for the waves. We need a top 5 from Silas right now.
Top 5?
Kanye albums.
Kanye albums? That's easy. You ready? Graduation, College Dropout, Dark Twisted Fantasy, Late Registration. I don't want to say Watch the Throne because that's a collab album. So I'll say... I'm not going to say Kids See Ghosts either because that's a collab album. Damn. When you get that 5 slot, it's like you want to do it right. I'll say Life of Pablo. I love Life of Pablo. It's stuff that I can, and if I'm going to put something in the top 5, I'm going to put that there. Dang. But there's also 808s and Heartbreaks. 808s. I'm going to put 808s. I'm going to put 808s at 5. Just because it's so different, but it still has that Kanye feel. But 100% Graduation, man. Graduation is
your number 1.
100%. And then it's a battle.
And then you said Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
But it's, man, I'm telling you, there's days, like lately, I've been bumping a lot more of Dark Twisted Fantasy. So maybe, one day that's 2, and then College Dropout is 3. It's a battle between those for 2 and 3, It kind of just depends on how I'm feeling.
And do you have Late Registration in there or no? Is that?
Yeah, that
was number 4. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, mine, Late Registration, number 1. College Dropout, number 2. I might have to go with Yeezus, number 3.
Whoa.
Yeezus is so banging. Black Skin, incredible song.
Crazy.
Hold My Liquor, incredible song.
Blood on the Leaves, fire.
Blood on the Leaves, come on,
Bound, so good. Kanye's so good.
I feel like Yeezus is when he reached the point where individuals like, okay, he's overplayed now. Like, remember when Bound 2 came out? Like,
yeah,
it's almost like, all right, the world had heard enough Kanye in that moment when that song came out. Personally, me, I'm a huge Kanye fan. I'm pretty sure you know that about me, Silas. But,
yes, sir.
Yeah, Yeezus is extremely special. Extremely special, experimental, really knocked down the doors.
Yes, sir.
Of what music is at that time period. And what's so amazing about Kanye, I said this to Brandon recently, whatever he dropped, that was the sound for the next couple of years on like all the airwaves. So
808s started all this shit, right? Started all the auto-tunes. Like,
wait. For me, I feel like Kid Cudi started all that shit. And then like
T-Pain though, T-Pain. We're gonna talk about auto-tune. Let's talk about T-Pain. I'm just gonna say it, man. I love T-Pain. I love it.
See, I wasn't even going as far as auto-tune. I was really just talking about hip-hop with melody.
Oh, yeah, that Cudi, yeah.
Song forward, Cudi. Right?
Yeah.
But I do agree with you as far as the auto-tune goes, T-Pain, and then even go further back than that to some people from the 90s. But Kanye took the auto-tune from 808s and Heartbreaks, and that's, very much resonating a lot of the sound of today still.
100%, right? Yeah.
But for me, Kid Cudi, there would be no 808s and Heartbreaks if there was no Kid Cudi.
100%,
Look at the bars on the top songs from 808s. My head keeps spinning. I can't stop having the vision. I gotta keep spinning. That's Kid Cudi right there.
Yeah,
Kid Cudi wrote that shit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing song. So let me finish. Late Registration, College Dropout, Yeezus, Graduation, and then My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
That's a great top 5. That's very respectable. Nobody
said Jesus is King, which is not in my top 5 either, but
right.
Interesting that The most recent one didn't make the list at all.
I didn't listen to the album.
You haven't heard it?
Mm-mm. I've heard a couple songs. I haven't listened to the whole thing.
Because?
The songs I heard, I just don't really connect with. That's it. And it's like what? Like, how do I even connect with Dark Twisted Fantasy?
Are you an atheist?
No, I believe in God, 100%.
That was a joke, by the way. I mean,
are you an atheist? No, I believe in God. I believe in God.
You got to unpack that a little bit more though, because Kanye always brings this different sound, and I often have to like reconnect to it. That's one of the things that I like about it so much. Like, I'm not religious. Like, what the content isn't as relevant to me, I guess. But
right,
like, I don't know. I think it still slaps.
Yeah, maybe I just haven't listened to it enough. Maybe I should just go through and listen to it. But like I said, lately I've been so stuck on like early Kanye, like the first 3 albums, and like early Jay-Z and stuff like that. And to go back to the original question of how do I still like learn? Man, there's videos on YouTube of like the making of College Dropout, the making of Late Registration. And I've been like binge watching all of them and like watch The Throne. And I don't know, I just see how the people before me have worked. And I watch interviews and I'm just like, it inspires me to like go 10 times harder, honestly.
Got it. So a lot of old Kanye. Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel? Tie that to your mental health and where we are in lockdown. Like, how does that overlap?
He has this line where he says he locked himself in a room every day for 3 summers. So I'm just gonna lock myself.
I beat the day for 3 summers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
For 3 summers. That's a different word. Like these numbers.
Yeah.
We do these numbers. The kid that made that deserves that.
Yeah, let's go. But like that's like, I don't know, man. That's how I feel. I'm just gonna lock myself in my room for this summer, I guess. Like,
so how many beats are you making today?
I'm not making that many beats, but I'm trying. I'm trying, you know. But
the answer was 5.
Oh well, yeah, 5 beats a day for 3 summers. But for me, you know, just trying to do 5 verses a day if I can, you know, and just pushing that limit. And really, I think this whole thing is just, you know, as far as my mental health goes, like it's definitely affected it. You know, I suffer from depression and anxiety, and I feel like it's definitely elevated both of those and just the waves that they hit. But I've been so used to just going with it and like moving with the feelings and working them out on my own time. And, you know, just I think that me writing a lot helps it. It's my therapy, you know. That's what I always say is just me writing and me recording and even me streaming, like it's therapy, you know. It makes me, it reminds me why I started doing like all of this. So
do you feel the tension or the stress of this time period coming out in the music, like in your verses?
I can feel it because a lot of the stuff I'm writing about for my next project is about when I was homeless. So I feel like it just like, there's like, man, like when you go back to a time that was super dark and you start writing about it, for me, like it's such a hard thing not to get put back into like that dark place that I was in, just mentally, just like, and me thinking about it, like, I'm like, man, this still like 6-7 years later and like it still hurts, like, and hurts more than anything. So, and it's like, but then it's like, hey man, I wake up in the morning and I have a roof over my head and I have food in my stomach, and I look at pictures of me back then and I was 95 pounds and I'm like, I am way healthier now than I ever was. And you know, I just feel I constantly have to remind myself like how blessed I am, and just the fact that my life is in a way better place, and mentally I'm in a way better place. Like I remember when I was 17, I was angry. I felt so angry at the world because, hey, this is happening in my life and why is this happening to me? And, you know, I was a kid though, you know, I was 17 years old. And I feel like that you know, as I've matured and gotten older, like I just understand that all of that stuff really did make me a better person, you know? But when you go back and write about it, especially in a time like this, I can't go out and like socialize with friends after and like kind of not forget about it, but like even have that extra reminder, like, hey, look at where I'm at now, you know? But then, you know, I write it down and I'm like, damn, I'm just kind of stuck in my room, you know? And I'm like, shit, like these are all these thoughts that I've held on to for so long. And, but I think at the end of the day, I do my best to remind myself like how blessed and lucky I am and like how hard I've like worked, you know? So that's a huge thing for me.
At the top of the day, you mentioned earlier that when you wake up, you drink 2 bottles of water. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, so I drink 2 bottles of water because it helps with your metabolism. Like if that's the first thing you do, it just helps with your metabolism. It wakes you up. And I've completely cut sugar drinks out of my diet, like no sodas. The only thing I drink that, I mean, doesn't even have sugar in it is I'll have, if I like want something that's like carbonated, sparkling water. That's it. But I fill myself with water every day. Like I'm just completely, you know, almost like a detox. Like I just feel better, you know, I'm not drinking Coca-Cola all day, you know, I feel better drinking like natural spring water. It just
what temperature do you like your water?
Room temperature.
Room temperature. No ice.
No ice.
Fridge.
Yeah. Unless it's sparkling water, then I keep my sparkling water in the fridge.
They say that's better for you. That cold water kind of like shocks your system.
It does. Yeah. So
water.
I just keep my water right back there. I get like
I see that.
A couple 35 packs like every couple days, and then I run through them quick, man.
What's your water of choice, Silas?
Crystal Geyser. Natural alpine spring water.
Nice.
Yeah.
If there's any fluoride in that Crystal Geyser?
Let me see. I don't think there is.
Google water with fluoride and see if that pops up.
Let me see real quick.
And I have to agree with you. Sparkling water is so refreshing.
Dude, I love it. And it's like it's like it doesn't make me feel like shit, you know? Like if I had a Mountain Dew, it'd make me feel terrible right now. So
yeah. It gives you a nice, full, bloated kind of feeling, but you know that it's just bubbles and just carbonation, so you just feel so much better about yourself. When I was in New York, I got really into sparkling water.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just loving water.
Let me see if Crystal Geyser.
Very European to have warm, sparkling water. That's like their jam.
I got to agree with the coolness. Once again, with my brother Silas, like sparkling water, in order for it to be really good, it's got to be cold.
Yeah, it has to be cold. It has a weird taste. Like there's these things called like sparkling ice that Pep told me. Like I was like, if I ever want soda, what should I drink? And he was like, there's like these things like called sparkling ice. It's like sparkling water, like flavored, but not really. It's like it's not that good. But it only tastes good if it's cold. So and I do believe Crystal Geyser has fluoride in it. Like not a lot, but a little bit.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I don't know.
I would challenge you, my brother, to get off of the fluoride water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Once I finish those, I'll do it. I'll find the water that doesn't have fluoride in it.
Let's talk more about your setup here, man. You got all this inspiration, starting with Scooby-Doo over here. Can you walk?
Oh yeah, man. That's like from when I was a kid. I love that movie. I have a bunch of other posters. I just got 2. I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. I just got a Clerks poster signed by him and a Chasing Amy poster signed by him. I have those like closer to my bed. I have a Star Wars poster, a Scream poster. I love that movie. Since I was a kid, like I'm like huge into like horror films. That doesn't really feel like a horror movie to me though. It's more like a drama. It's good though.
Comedy too, right?
Yeah, it's like a comedy as well. But it's really, really good. And then I think one of my favorite movies of all time is High Fidelity, I have that poster right next to the Scooby-Doo one.
Great movie.
Scream is Wes Craven, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Wes Craven.
And he recently did a dope-ass skit with the homie Dashi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man. It's funny because I helped him like write that part because we were at that place. Me and him, we went there one day, and he was telling me he wanted to do a skit, and he was telling me kind of like a part that he had an idea for me, and I was like, so I'm gonna be the one that calls up and says, you know, yada, do you guys have this movie? And I was like, we should say it's like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And then I'll go into the store and get the movie come up to you and then have the Freddy glove and like point at the movie. And it's like, but yeah, that was super fun. I enjoyed that a lot. But, and
You're
then.
a Batman fan too, huh?
Yes, I love Batman.
Animated Batman more than the real life Batman?
Yes, 100%. The original like animated movies are incredible. I watched them as a kid a lot. So
what's the when the homie's got the glove and he's almost like a ninja dude?
Dude, Mask of the Phantasm right there. I have that poster right there. It's fire. That's like one of the best ones, dude.
Real hard.
Yo, incredible movie. Score in the movie is phenomenal too. Shirley Walker, she snapped. She did a lot of the animated series stuff too. Really good.
Wow.
But yeah, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. I just love that movie as a kid, and the poster is cool as shit. And then we have the Batman movie. It's called Mask of the Phantasm that we were just talking about. And then Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Both of those movies are fire. That's actually an original poster from 1999.
Wow. Amazing.
It was mad clutch that I got it. And then up top, there's a smaller poster from this movie called Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. It's a really good movie. Yeah. It's like an independent movie that's like really, really good. It's like one of the only movies that's like really made me cry. I don't cry like that during movies, but that movie was incredible. And then that's just a Dragon Ball Super poster from Japan. And then that wall over there is just all like mob movies that I love. Goodfellas, Carlito's Way, Scarface. Yeah. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Not really a mob movie, but it just kind of fit with the theme of what I had going on.
Your favorite Tarantino?
No, Inglourious Bastards is. Inglourious Bastards is. I think Once Upon a Time is like top 3 though.
Really?
I love it. I've seen it a lot of times.
A lot of hate on it.
Yeah, I saw it 4 times in movie theaters, and it kind of just connected with me. I don't know. It was funny. I enjoy like a really good funny movie.
The name that you named for that Batman animated series, Shirley
Walker.
Is that the animator?
No, she's the composer for it.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Shirley Walker.
Mm-hmm. She snapped, like went off.
The Batman anime style joint. It was like Batman or something.
Yeah, it's like Batman Samurai or Batman Ninja. Oh, it's Batman Ninja. Batman Ninja. That's what it is. I really like that one. I
haven't seen that.
Really good. But I love animated movies, shows, all that stuff.
And what about the last one here? Is that like a championship victory?
I like watching football. And I started watching football to connect more with my dad. We didn't really have a relationship like that. And I was like, well, I'll take the initiative to at least try and be friends with him, you know, because I'm an adult. And this was like 3 or 4 years ago. And he really likes the Chiefs. And I had like never really watched football. And so I started watching like Chiefs football. Like I just
It's a good time to watch Chiefs football.
Yeah. At the time it wasn't. At the time we were still kind of a bad team. And we didn't have Patrick Mahomes yet. But then this year, you know, went to the Super Bowl and won it. So I was super excited, man. I was super excited. And it was like a bonding moment for me and my dad, you know? So it was I did it so me and my dad could bond and connect with each other. And because for a long time, me and him didn't talk for about, say, like 3 or 4 years.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
How powerful that is. Sports.
Right.
To people together.
And that's how I feel about video games and music. It's like these are like sports. It doesn't have to be such a negative debate. Like it's like, for me, I'm like, hey, I enjoy watching a football team now, and it gives me something to do on Sundays whenever football is on. And I don't agree with, the NFL and all of like that stuff. But for me, it gave me a connection with my dad. So I'll always hold that like really special to me. And, that's something that I care about. And when me and him talk, we talk about sports, it's and I look at my dad, not such as a dad, but more as a friend, but like a really good friend, like, if that makes any sense, like, but that's just where our relationship is, we never really had the father-son relationship. So I think that any relationship I could have with him that's positive is good. That's how I see it.
How did you feel like after you made kind of that new friendship? Like, was it kind of relieving to have that relationship, or like, how did that?
Yeah. I always wanted to connect with my dad. I just never knew how, I just, and I think it all stemmed from me working at Wingstop when I was living in Maryland. I worked at the same Wingstop Logic worked at. It's really weird. But I remember just like every Sunday, like football would be on and I'd watch it. And I knew my dad watched a lot of football. Like he's loved football since he was a child. So that's something where I was like, I'll start watching the Chiefs. If I'm going to be stuck at this Wingstop every Sunday with not feeling bored when it's dead, I'll just watch Chiefs football and I'll become a fan. And they weren't good. Like they weren't good. They were decent, but there was and I would talk to my dad about it. Like it started off like, man, Chiefs are about to get this. For instance, I remember when they drafted Patrick Mahomes, I was like, he's going to be good. Like he's going to be really good. And we would just talk about stuff like that. And I don't know, and we still talk about stuff like that. It's funny. I love shoes. My dad loves shoes. We talk about shoes all the time, and it's stuff like that makes me realize I'm like, fuck, me and my dad have a lot in common, like a lot in common. And for a long time, my dad was an alcoholic, and he drinks here and there, like, but when I was younger, he was like a terrible alcoholic. And I think like a lot of that stuff, like now that he's gotten older and has more kids and stuff like that, he's, kind of realized like, damn, I messed up. And, but I always tell him, I'm like, man, it's cool. Look at me. Like, I'm doing fine, and I always remind him that, and my sister's doing fine and stuff like that. So I'm like, just like, yo, I'm not dead. I'm not in jail. I'm not, there was a million things that could have happened. And I could have been like, this happened because my dad wasn't there or this or that. And I was like, I never blamed nothing on you, like at all. Like I never blamed a thing on you. So I think that's
so
like,
amazing that you can have that perspective at such a young age, man. That's really cool. We got to take a quick break.
Hey, what's up? And if you've made it this far, you've accessed a special message for music and mental health. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. We really, really appreciate you. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for sharing. Please continue to share the page, share the Twitter, share the Instagram, share the content, share the videos. That's the only way that we're going to fix what's going on in this world right now, right? We got to talk about things. That's the whole point of this podcast. And I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that me also, currently, now, in retrospect, I wasn't as you're watching this video, but now, today, as you are, I'm now streaming on Twitch. I wanted to just let you guys know, every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be streaming guided meditations. Apparently, Liv says that it's 6 p.m. in the UK. So do the math if you're in New York. I guess there's a 3-hour difference back. It's 3 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. Every Monday, we're going to do guided meditation. Please join me. Come hang out. And let's work on some techniques because it's really important to meditate. I think that's the number one thing we can all do to practice better mental health in 2020. One love, all the above. I hope you're enjoying this episode with Silas. Make sure you follow me at twitch.tv/Damian L. Hudson. And also, make sure you're following Silas on Twitch because he really is fucking amazing on Call of Duty. Peace out. Oh no, I forgot my sunglasses.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another edition to Music and Mental Health. This is episode 16. Today we got the man, that boy, Silas, in the house, and he's opening up to us. Very, very nice opening segment there. We discussed movies, we discussed video games, we discussed memory lane a bit, and we're going to keep the ball rolling. We're going to keep the conversation going.
I think it was a really cool thing that you said there, Silas. I want to touch back on is like you went and met your dad kind of where he was. And I think that's a really important lesson for people. Like if you're trying to connect with someone, like maybe get out of your comfort zone, go do something that they do to try to connect with them that way.
100%. I 100%. I agree with you. And I think that when I think I was 20 years old. No, I was 18. I was 19 years old when this happened. And I was like, I remember something happened with my dad when I was like 17. We were arguing and like he had to go to the hospital. And he was like really unhealthy at the time. And I was just like, life is short. Like anything could happen any day. Like something could happen to me. Something could happen to him. Something could happen to the people I love. So it wasn't even like me being like the bigger person. It was more just like, let me just be the one to initiate things and stuff like that. Like, let me be the person that reaches out. Like, let me be that first. And like, because it's like, what if he doesn't, you know? I'm not going to sit here and just be upset at him for the rest of my life. Like, if anything were to happen, God forbid, I would have been destroyed. Even though we never really had a relationship like that, it's like, that's still my dad. That's the only one I got, you know? But then I look at it like, hey, man, I listen to a lot of music. They were like my dads too, you know? Like, so like when, for instance, like when Mac Miller passed away, I was destroyed, bro. I'm still destroyed about it. Last night, I was listening to Mac Miller and I started crying, bro. Like, I was just like, this is a person that wasn't that much older than me. He was 26 when he passed away. And like, man, there's tweets that I tweeted him from like 2011, 2010, where I'm just like, I love your music. Like, you inspired me to rap. And I'm just like, bro, like that, it hurts, you know? It hurts when there's people you care about that like leave this earth, whatever this is, like they leave it. And it's just like, to me, that's always been such a difficult thing to deal with mentally. And that's why I reached out to my dad, and that's why I reached out to my mom. That's why I reached out to so many people in my life that I wasn't talking to. And I was just like, let's figure this out, you know, because nothing in this world is promised. Like tomorrow isn't promised. And not to get like really deep and sad, but I think that for me, it's just accept the people you love for who they are, meet them in the middle somewhere or go to them, because not everything can be your way. You know, I may be in this place and maybe my dad's in a different place, and that's okay because we're both two different people. But if I have to be the one to go to his place, then I'll be that person, you know, and I'm fine with being that person. And if it doesn't work out, I can say I tried, you know, I can say that I had that initiative to go.
I think that's the other thing to realize about reaching out to people is that sometimes it doesn't go as planned or they're not as receptive, but it still may help you.
Exactly.
Which is really powerful.
Yeah. You can find, for me, and it's happened, like I found comfort in the fact that I reached out to whoever it was and I did my part. Whether I was apologizing or I just wanted to reconnect, I can say that I reached out and I did my part, you know, and kind of that. I feel like if there's anybody that is going through something like that, you're in a relationship and you guys aren't really working out, or, parents, siblings, cousins, friends, whatever it is, like if you're that person that reaches out, you've done your part, and you've said what you've had to say, like you've done your part. And I really don't think, as long as you're respectful and kind and, I really don't think there's anything else you can do. You can't control how a person reacts to what you say.
What's your opinion on burning bridges? And if a bridge has been burned, do you believe the bridge can be repaired?
I think so. I think a bridge can be repaired. But it depends. There's stipulations to that. I'm so against burning bridges, bro. Like, it has to be something like crazy that happened for me to burn a bridge. And I've only burned a bridge with 2 people in my entire life, but because my thought process is, Damien, if you made me upset, I would take 24 hours to really, like, if I was like if me and you got in this huge heated argument that was so bad, before me burning a bridge, I would wait 24 hours and see how if I'm still upset about it in 24 hours, let's talk about it, But I'm not going to, I'm not so brash with the whole, let's burn a bridge, stuff like that. Like, I'm more, let me see how I feel in 24 hours, and then we can talk about it, And if, I'm not upset about it or you're not upset about it, then I'm going to say, hey, both of us were assholes. And why did we even argue in the first place? Who knows, and let's talk about it and let's try and figure it out so it doesn't happen again. But I've met people that are like, you get in an argument with them and it's bridge burned. And it's like, okay, well, that's the person that, you definitely don't want to have in your life. Just,
right.
But
right.
That doesn't mean technically I'm burning the bridge with them. I just kind of give them their space, give that person their space to grow or do whatever they need to do, and that's kind of, I like giving people their space. That's me.
Let's flip the perspective. Let's say you weren't burning the bridge, mm-hmm. but someone burned their bridge to you.
To me, respect it. I think
and that you let them go. That's it. Or do you want to make an effort to perhaps forgive the grudge,
right,
and repair the bridge?
Right. If I did something wrong and I'm a grown-up and I can say, hey, I did something wrong here, then I do anything I can to repair that bridge. And that's when you reach out to the person, respectfully, of course. And if someone doesn't want you to reach out to them, respect their wishes, But if they don't, leave them a nice message. Say, hey, I know I messed up here, yada, 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 whatever happened. And just say, I don't feel like I've ever been in that position. I'm trying to put myself in the position, though. My biggest thing, like I said, is giving people their space, respecting their wishes. And I think that's the most you can do, is just respect someone else's wishes.
Or maybe try to connect with them on a new level again. Like,
yeah,
how can you meet them, even if it's something stupid or silly or whatever? Just like,
right,
to show them, okay, we argued about this one thing,
right?
But that doesn't mean that's how I feel about you entirely.
100%. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask the both of you even.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel like living in quarantine, living in the new normal, do you feel like we as individuals have weakened our tolerance level for things we don't like, or have we weakened our tolerance level on our tempers or our threshold for how much we can take
Right.
until we blow up via tea kettle or an outburst? Does anybody feel like that is happening currently?
I'll say first 100%, because we don't have those person-to-person interactions, and you kind of build up the, your tolerance level. It's like drinking or smoking, and right now I don't do either. I've never been a really big like weed smoker, or I smoked cigarettes when I was younger and stuff like that, but like as far as like drinking goes, I was never really a big drinker, only at parties and stuff like that with friends, people I cared about, where I knew I was safe. But I've kind of cut all of the toxic stuff out of my life right now. And I do feel like it definitely, like, you need to have those person to person interactions to build up that tolerance of this and that. But honestly, it's like, for me, I'm like, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go fucking be mean to people. Like, even with all the stuff that's going on, I'm like, I'm an adult, but there's definitely people that talk shit, and it bugs you, right? Like, I've dealt with that, like, people online, and it's like, you just gotta, lately I've just been like, man, just fucking chill. Like, just fucking cool out, like, drink some water, relax, relax. And just like remember all the good shit, because like it's just not worth it. It's not like an outburst is not worth it.
Yeah.
You feel like shit. Think about every time you've had an outburst or been upset at somebody. How do you feel after? You feel like garbage. You feel terrible. Like, and if somebody is having an outburst at you taking it to that level is gonna make you feel terrible. So just don't do it. That's I can't stress that enough, and I stress it to myself every day, that I'm like, it's not fucking worth it, man. Like, it's not, like, my peace of mind isn't worth being disrupted because someone's saying this or someone's saying that. And let me just chill the fuck out and enjoy what I have going on right now in my life. That's kind of how I feel about it.
No doubt.
That's kind of how I feel.
Do you think social media and the current state of the world are gasoline for each other's fire?
Yes, 100%. Dude, social media has, like, literally made me depressed. Like, I've dealt with depression before, but social media is like a huge part of my depression. But
what's the most depressing part about social media?
I don't know. I think it's, people who flip your words, people who, there's people that will blatantly attack you for no reason. And I don't think that I was ready for that. Like, I don't think nobody's ready for it, Like, I got, like, one day I went from nobody in the world knowing me to Logic being like, give this kid a bunch of followers. And then it's like, well, there's a lot of fucking mean people out here, I was just a kid that nobody knew, I had like maybe 25 kids that really fucking liked my music. And like, I was like, man, these kids are awesome. And then you get exposed to the people that are like, this fucking kid sucks. He's trash. He's garbage. He's this, And like, at first I was like, I would see, like, it's like so many rappers being mean to me, like up and coming kids. And I was just like, but bro, like, I'm where you are right now. Like I'm like, dude, I was like right there 3 days ago, like, and I'm like, a lot of it is people, this stuff Logic has told me. He's like, you got to look at it. Like, when it's like the rappers, it's like, dude, they just wish they were in your position. Like, they probably love your music, but it's just the kids that were in that wish they were in that position. But it's still the fact that, man, you want to please everybody, bro, but it's not possible. When I put out a song, like, I want people to enjoy it and I want people to love it. And I'm like, but it's just not possible, And I think me accepting that just takes time. And, I don't know, man, people talk, but at the end of the day, like, I know who I am, you know, and that's all I can do, really. Like, it's just know who I am and not let it affect me as much, you know?
I like to say people talk, but they don't listen.
Yeah.
People will say whatever they want to say, but they're never going to truly understand what you truly meant by what you said, and they will use it
Exactly.
against you. And it's
Exactly.
really sad that we as artists and individuals can't celebrate our positions and our ascensions to next levels without making other individuals upset. And I agree with what Bob said to you. Yeah, I think the majority of those individuals who are upset the most are envious, are
Yeah.
jealous.
Yeah.
They're upset not because they think that you don't have any talent. Clearly you have talent. You wouldn't be where you are if you didn't have talent, but they're just upset because they're not there. So
Exactly.
when people see others around them rising and them celebrating their ascension, they try to pull them back down to their level to
Right.
make them feel less about themselves, which apparently is in their mind going to make them feel better about themselves. But in reality, I don't think anybody feels good about that.
Mm-mm.
You're not going to feel good from pulling anybody down in any direction. There's no positivity that comes from that. Even an outburst, even pulling yourself down and pulling your friends, your family, your peers around you down in that moment
Right.
because you're so frustrated for whatever reason, and you have this outburst and you start pulling at people, you start
Yeah.
yanking people down. There's just no positive outcome to that. Destruction is destruction. Negativity is toxic, and toxic things will eat away.
Right.
And even an individual who wants to bash an artist because of their accolades, their success meters, it's like when you bash that artist, you're not getting anything out of that.
Right.
It's so sad because, yes, hip hop is so competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotten so competitive to where we can't celebrate someone else winning.
Right.
And that's so stupid. That's so, like, backward.
I agree. Yeah. And I think that's where it's like, that's why when I love an artist, I literally will say it. Like, and I know it's like, it feels like in hip hop now, it's like such a taboo thing to say like you love another artist.
No.
It's supposed to be like, the hip hop Twitter has this mindset like kill, kill, kill. Like these people don't like each other. Yada. Like it's always been like the J. Cole and Kendrick against each other. Like they pit, like the kids on the outside pit you against each other. That's it. But like, it's like when it comes to like, if someone could hit me up and be like, what do you think about Corday? I fucking love Corday. And I'll say it. Like, he's amazing at what he does, you know? JID, love Jid. He's fucking incredible, bro. Like, you know, like I respect and revere everybody, even the new kids. Like the what people call mumble rap. I love it. It's melody, bro. You know, it's music, and to me, it's enjoyable. And like, it's so weird. I remember, and like you said, you know, people love to talk, but they don't listen. You know, I remember this one time. It was one of the times that I responded to a kid when I first got signed. It was this rapper from my hometown that was like hating on me. And I was like, I said this. I said, bro, you have a SoundCloud link in your bio. I was like, go work on your music. And people took that. They went to Reddit instantly and took it as like, oh, he's making fun of him because he has a SoundCloud link in his bio. No. Like when my thing is this, think about this. I went on tour with Logic, JID, and Corday. Now imagine this. 2 years ago and this is going to all tie back in together. 2 years ago when Corday really first started blowing up, what if I went on Twitter and started talking shit about Corday? What if I like was just blatantly being mean and disrespectful because he was from my area and I was upset, you know, that I wasn't in that position. I wouldn't have gone on that tour, you know? And that goes into burning bridges. I feel like that would have burnt a bridge. But when Corday started blowing up, I loved that a person from my area was getting recognition and love. because I remember when he was when me and him were on this record label called Nage, excuse me, I wasn't on it. I wanted to be on it. He was on it, but it was like a little record label for people in the area. And I was like, this kid is so good. It was when he went under the name Entendre. And to see him blow up and see his ascension and his rise is like incredible, because it's you know that this person came from your area. And in my mind, when I saw the kid that was hating on me from my area, and I was like, bro, when I had a SoundCloud link in my bio and I was like pushing out new songs every week, trying to make something happen, I wasn't hating on another artist for getting it. I just wanted to get there myself. And I wanted to keep that connection open. I wanted to see more people succeed. But that's a huge problem with the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, is I think that it has one of the most beautiful hip hop scenes of all time. But people just love, like, if they love pulling each other down. They love, nobody wants to see each other succeed. And it hurts because there's so many great artists from the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
I think you hit it on the head. It's like, it's all about your response to these things. Like jealousy and envy, they're natural human emotions. Everyone is going to feel that, right?
Right.
The question is, does that propel you to work harder, to do better at what you do? Or are you going to stand here and criticize someone else,
And that's the biggest thing that I ever tried to say to that kid was like, instead of sitting here just blatantly being mean to me and hating on me, that should, if you feel like I'm so bad, then that should inspire you to work 10 times harder so you can get to where I am, and or where whoever you're hating on you think is, but people hate, man. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just the main thing, man. People hate. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm just a human.
More than they love.
Yeah.
Just like you said, like, how often do you see someone in the game showing love to somebody else? There's like a very, very small percentage of artists in the industry who do that.
Right.
And the majority will just hide behind their curtain, do what they got to do, and run back and hide. But when somebody drops some fire, they don't want to talk about it. Like, who would I be to not say Kendrick Lamar is absolutely incredible?
Exactly.
Like, who would I be to not say, any of these artists, Roddy Ricch, like, is incredible. Like, just because somebody's new and doing something that you're not used to, like, still support them.
Exactly.
It's so strange that this game has gotten to the point where literally that's what you don't do. You don't support other artists. It's like, there's 52 weeks out of the year. If homie drops an album this week, 5 weeks later, you could still drop an album. And 5 weeks ago, you could have said that you were all about that album that week. But you know what? That doesn't have anything to do with the 5 weeks from now when your project is out. Like, oh, everybody look at me. It's all about me right now, me. And it's just like so whack. It's like, what would an actor be if they couldn't acknowledge the greatness of Leonardo DiCaprio? What would Wes Craven be if he couldn't acknowledge the greatness of a writer like Edgar Allan Poe?
Right.
What would Batman be if he couldn't acknowledge the awesomeness of Superman? I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, at least these guys were able to come together and create a Justice League. There should be a Justice League of artists out there.
Right.
Like, I saw a tweet the other day from TDE. Oh, by the way, that J. Cole Kendrick Lamar album will never come out. You saw that?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. But imagine if it did come out.
Exactly, bro.
Right?
We've been waiting years for it, dog. Years.
Like, imagine how much positivity that could do for the world. Imagine what kind of concerts and benefits they could put on.
Yep.
Imagine what kind of movements these brothers could make through their words, because you got kids on the West and the East Coast, North and South, that worship what they have to say. Like, think about how powerful Watch the Throne was.
Exactly.
As you mentioned, the top of the conversation, I mean, shit, that should be a Kanye album as far as I'm concerned. But since we're speaking Kanye to Kanye,
Right. Yeah,
But
100%.
look what these men did together because of these two giants in music, right?
Right.
So how can a giant knock down another giant for being so tall? It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. It is so counterproductive. Just like you said, 2 years down the road, that kid might have the opportunity to open for Silas, but Silas is probably going to think back in his head and go through his Rolodex of memories, but oh, wait a second, isn't this that kid that went to Reddit and tried to like defame me for taking my words out of my context? Like, absolutely nothing. Now, what we all need to do is hope and pray, put our hands together and all join in and pray together that Kanye and Jay-Z can come back and do Watch the Throne too.
Right.
Because that's the only way we will all be saved. What do you think about that Jay Electronica album?
I loved it, man. It's hip hop, dude. It's hip hop. It felt like a Jay-Z album. But
right?
it's hip hop though, man. It got me excited because I was like, man, just Jay and Kanye would just go crazy on something. But Kanye's at such a different place, and so is Jay-Z. These are
about bridges.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, do you? I don't think they've burned a bridge, man. I don't think they've burned a bridge because they're brothers, man. When you're brothers, you never. I don't really think you burn bridges when you're brothers, man. When you're family, that's family, you know. I mean,
wives like each other. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, there's stuff like that, but it's like, man, when that's your brother, you say fuck all that, man. Like you just work it out, hash it out, you know. But I don't know, man. I just it's like, hey, man, who makes that first step, that first initiative? In my mind, it has to be Kanye. In my mind, it has to be Ye. Ye has to go to the God, to Hove, you know, to the greatest. He has to go to the and with stuff like that, I do feel like there's, you know, when it comes to people going and this and that, like if me and Logic were ever in some sort of thing like that, I would be the one that has to go to him. He's the one that signed me. He put me in this position. Right.
Wasn't it Kanye that said bow in the presence of greatness?
There you go. He's talking about Jay. Jay is the one that gave him that shot. When there's people that give you shots, there's just, you go to them, you know? You go to that person. That's where it's different. That's where it's different than like family, you know? But I consider Logic a brother of mine, a older brother.
Is it the 98 Laws of Power? And
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
Which I believe one of the laws of power is never disrespect the master.
There you go. Hey, you give me your address, I'm going to send you a book. 50 wrote a book. It's the 50th Law of Power. It's so good, bro.
Oh, yeah? He added 2 more laws to it?
Bro, it's so good. Like, trust me. I know 50 Cent is a clown, but he's a very wise person, bro.
No clowns over here. This is music and mental health. I try to go out of my way to never disrespect any of the greats, any of the artists. Right. I know I said what I said about Kanye in terms of bow in the presence of greatness, but I'm just using your words.
Oh, 100%.
Yay. And
100%. I didn't mean he's a clown, but he clowns on people on Instagram. You know what I mean? That's what I meant. Like I know he clowns on people on Instagram. I mean, I love 50 Cent.
I love all these guys. Every name that we mentioned. You know, I just try to be very careful because, like you say, people talk but they don't listen. How easy would it be for them to cut up your words?
Yeah,
you said 50 yada yada yada. Next thing you know, we're in XXL head cover. Silas said 50 Cent's a clown, and then it's oh shit! Like,
I'm like, just go watch the whole thing, bro. But
that's what we need. That'll blow this podcast up. That's hilarious.
But trust me, it's a great book. You'd love it.
I'm gonna check it out. I'll read that. It's really important, man. Like this conversation that we're having. It's funny how every time we do one of these podcasts, it all kind of connects somehow. Like we talk about one thing, And then somehow we were talking about burning bridges just in terms of our expectations and our experiences. And now we find it very easily to relate to two of the greatest artists of all time, Jay-Z and Kanye West. And we all we want is them to collaborate again. All we want is them to throw the hate aside and the differences aside. Like, you know, put the wives on the side. No disrespect to the wives. Also, no shade thrown at Miss Kim Kardashian West or Beyonce Knowles Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Is that her full name? Does she even have a
I believe so.
I think she just has one name. Pretty sure.
Beyonce, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's queen shit right there, dude. That's awesome.
Speaking of music, Mr. Damien, what are you listening to these days?
I've listened to a lot of Billie Holiday this week. This week I've heard a lot of Billie Holiday. I think it has to do with my reinvestment into Fallout 4. I went back and restarted my journey on Fallout 4, and Billie Holiday has a couple joints on Diamond City Radio when you're running around the wasteland. Billie Holiday jumps on, and she's got some joints. And literally through my days, you know, when I'm preparing my studio sessions, gathering samples and stuff, I was listening to a lot of Duke Ellington interviews yesterday, which is crazy stuff. Found some really dope stuff. And I also have just been binging on Billie Holiday. But Fallout 4 is truly the original Warzone.
Oh, yeah.
Fallout 4 is so good right now for me, man. Like, that game
incredible.
It's hitting me in the heart. I've already played through it once. This is my second time playing through it. I'm playing it on survival mode right now. So you have to eat and you have to drink water.
Sir.
Get the radiation.
It's so good. I love that game.
So fun, man. This game came out in 2016, but it's so banging right now. It's on the PlayStation Pass, PlayStation Now, so you can get a subscription for like 300 games. And Fallout 4 is arguably the best game in that bunch.
Yeah, man.
I'm enjoying it so much. I think I'm realizing I'm enjoying it so much because of how much like Warzone it is. Mm-hmm. But it's like Warzone, but it just keeps on going and going and kind of has a lot more personality and growth and story to it. And it also just relates to what we're going through in quarantine. Yeah. Being held up in your own vault, being held up in your own little capsule, and then the ability to go out into the world for the first time. There's something quite rejuvenating about that experience for me, and I'm really enjoying that.
Let me ask, what faction are you going for this playthrough? And what did you do the first one? What did you do the first
time? I did the Institute, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because it was like follow the railroad, and it got you to the Institute. What's crazy about this game is I'm replaying it again, and like so much of this game is like it's so deep and so big. I'm not really remembering anything.
Dude, I've beat that game 8 times.
Really?
I love that game. It's so good. So good. I'll tell you this. The most fun I had playing the game, Brotherhood of Steel. Incredible. Yeah. Incredible, bro. Them and the railroad. Oh my goodness, man. So good, dude. There's just so many different ways.
Is the Institute, no? Or am I
No, the railroad, I believe, is its own thing, but they know how to get to the Institute. That's how you get to it, because they're like, we know the Institute is this bad corporation, and for people that haven't played Fallout, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But the Institute is like the Illuminati, like a secret society that lives among people. But the railroad is like the Undertakers. Like they're like, we're gonna shut this bitch down right now. Like it's incredible, dude. But brother,
the recommendation for the Brotherhood of Steel, because I love Paladin Dance. He's such a cool character.
Oh yeah, man.
Does he not remind you of Burt Reynolds? Or not Burt Reynolds, Bruce, George Clooney.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, on the money, dude.
Bro, I was playing it the other night. I like almost stopped playing in the middle of the game. Like, bro, like who is doing the voice acting for Paladin Dance? Sounds just like George Clooney. You know what game I'm really trying to play though? I'm trying to play the Ghost of what is it? Tenacia, the Ghost of.
Oh, is that the samurai game?
Yeah.
Have you played Skyrim?
Yeah.
Dude. I love Bethesda games because every day I would drive to work. when I lived in Maryland, I would pass by the Bethesda offices because it's in Bethesda, Maryland, and I'd see the big like in the middle of their thing, they have a giant like Power Armor Fallout statue.
That's
and
cool.
Before I got signed, I applied to work there as a game dev.
Wow.
Yeah, I was literally a couple days before Logic called me and like was like, come out to LA and stuff like that. I was gonna go in for an interview to go work there and like work on video games and stuff like that, because I'm really nice with computers. Like, aside from just knowing how to build them, like I'm just really nice at computer stuff. And I wanted to be a game tester. I thought that was like the coolest shit ever. Like, let me test Fallout, 5 and all that shit. So
man, that's super dope.
Yeah.
That was my original dream job when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
And in middle school, I was like, I want to be a video game tester, a video game designer.
Me too.
I sent out an application to DigiPen in Washington.
That's awesome.
A huge orientation book, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go there. This is going to be great. I'm going to design video games. And I started realizing how much math knowledge you need.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm doing this.
Right, that's what I said.
Mike.
I was fine with like the game tester thing, like just testing out the games and playing it and finding stuff that didn't work, because I still to this day find stuff that doesn't work in video games. And I'm like, I'll write an email to Infinity Ward and be like, hey, you guys, I found this glitch in the game. Please fix. And like that's
amazing.
That's besides the point. But that was like a huge dream of mine since I was a kid. Like, I remember I told my dad one time, he was like super drunk. He was like, what do you want to do when you're older? I was like, work at GameStop. I was like a little ass kid. I was like a little ass kid. I was like 5, like, and I just loved video games and music and stuff like that. I was like, work at GameStop.
Video games are the world to a young mind. I mean, even old minds like us, old bodies. I mean, we're all real gamers here. I don't think Brandon's quite on our level, but he's right there. He's not too far.
Right.
He has a lot of games that he plays. And how crazy, years later, games and decided to go into music. That I got the opportunity to do Drift Away with awesome. Raj Paul, which goes to say out there to anyone out there listening to this right now, if you want to design video games and you think that you have to know math, it's kind of true, but it's kind of not. You could just go the hip hop route and go on tour with the homie Bob, and maybe somewhere along the way you'll meet a very talented, tall, dark, and handsome man who can put pixels together and create a story on your life called Drift Away. And I got lucky, I guess, but that shit ain't stopping me. Don't let math stop you. Don't let anything stop you from doing what you want to do, ladies and gentlemen. This is your world. This is your life. This is your multiverse. You have everything in the control of your hands. However you spend your day or however you spend your time, that's what you're going to be. That's what you're going to do. So use your time wisely, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 15.
16.
Is it 16? Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn, this is episode 16. We're going until we get to 1,000. We got episode 16, and from 1,000, we're going to go 1,000 more. This is infinite. This is forever music and mental health. We got my homie, my brother, my label mate, Silas, that boy, the man, in the house with your co-host, Brandon David. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back and wrap this up. Episode 16, pardon my French, with my brother Silas in the house. You know what it is, Bad Boy Records. What up?
Yes, sir.
We're back, round 3. We left off with video games. I wanted to throw Just Cause 4 in there. I've been playing that a little bit.
I think I have that on my PC.
It's pretty fun, man. It's not as deep as Fallout. It's like you got to go into these little camps and liberate them. There's a cult that's taken over this town, and a lot of shit explodes and stuff. It's not too deep, but it's fun if you.
I gotta watch. Play that. Damien, I had a question for you. What did you think about Jedi Fallen Order?
Ooh, great question.
This is for Brandon or for Damien?
For Damien.
Bro, to be honest, it's a good game.
Yeah.
But something about it didn't hook me and keep me.
Really?
Something
Wow.
about it didn't force me to play it. Like, I'll go to sleep and I'll be thinking about Fallout 4.
Right.
The
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
that came out 4 years ago, I'll wake up and I'll be thinking about, like, oh, what's the next move I'm gonna make? Where
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
what
Did
I
you
want
beat
to
it?
clear out?
Did you beat Jedi Fallen Order?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't beat it. I'm on, like, I just got the double jump, and
Bro, you're
I
so
just
early in it.
I went back to the
Dude.
planet where you have to do the double jump to get to the witch or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
so you went to, dude, you're where Darth Maul is from.
oh wow.
I
So
believe.
what you're saying is I'm not even close to finishing the game?
You're kind of close. I feel like it's like the game is like, man, but the end, oh my goodness, it is a beautiful game. So this is my opinion, man. This is my opinion. Opinions they go every way, you know. I think it's the best thing Star Wars has put out in a very long time.
Yeah, I thought it was super dope versus the other Star Wars games. One of the things that they didn't do is I wanted them to have the mature label on it, and I know it's a Disney game now, and so
Yeah.
that's why they did that. But I think it could have been like darker and grittier.
It definitely could have. It could have had like the Force Awakens. That was an M-rated game, and that was like a brutal type of game. It was like a hack and slash thing. I don't know. I loved it, man. I thought there was moments in that game that made me cry. There was like reveals that it made me just shook, like just had me. But I'm like, it's weird, man, because I love Star Wars, but I don't enjoy the newer Star Wars movies that have came out. And I'm like an original Star Wars viewer. Like, I love the originals. I've seen every single one of them that's come out, but I love the originals. And I feel like that game was the closest to the originals that we'll ever get. And like that.
Yes. There's something that they hit some magic. There is some magic that they hit with the worlds, with the grand artistic scope, very George Lucas, like, wow, look at that go across the screen, and look at how large this is, like the scale of the, you know, the architecture and the scale of the structures. Impressive. Yes. And very spot on for Star Wars worlds. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Right.
I would think that I'm one of the biggest Star Wars fans in our network. I don't know how far I can say that, but I'm obsessed with Star Wars, and Star Wars is everything to me. I think Star Wars is the greatest story ever written and the greatest story ever told. But that game, for whatever reason, didn't keep me hooked. Something about the story didn't click for me. You know what the best Star Wars game to ever come out still? I'm talking about, I'm going to sleep and I'm thinking about playing this game, that kind of feeling. Like, that's when you know you're playing a good game. When you get in bed and you're like still thinking about the game, that's when like you think, oh, I'm like, all right, I'm playing a good game right now. Knights of the Old Republic.
Word. The computer game.
Yes, it was on the computer, and it was also on Microsoft.
Was it on Xbox? It was on the original Xbox, right?
That's why I bought it on Xbox.
Yeah.
I was like a huge Nintendo fan. Like, oh, I'm Nintendo. Those are during the days where Nintendo and Xbox was like hip hop world. It was like, okay, you do like Biggie,
they got beef.
It's an RPG, right? It's an RPG.
Yeah, it's an RPG.
I bought an Xbox to experience this game, and the way that they throw you in that story compared to the new joint, it doesn't connect. It does not connect.
So what I think, and this is my thing, I love how it picks up right after Order 66. Like, I love that it picks up, like, he feels, he's pretty much like one of the only, like, Jedis, you know? And I feel like, because that's years before, a couple years before Luke. Like, Luke is still, like, a baby during this time, or he might be, like, a little kid. He might be, like, a teenager about to set off on his own adventure and stuff like that. But that time frame of events is just, like, I live for those, like, little stories. Like, I love the books of Star Wars. So, like, I live in those stories of after Order 66 and there's no Jedis. And then you get these stories about Obi-Wan. And then Now there's what is it? Was it Cal? His name was Cal, I believe. Now there's, Cal, and that's like, it's canon. It counts as canon. And like, it's for me as like a Star Wars like nerd of the originals and stuff like that. It makes me really happy. I haven't even seen Mandalorian yet. I need to watch it though. I heard it's.
I haven't seen Mandalorian either. I haven't seen it, and
I need to watch it.
I heard it was crazy though.
Jose Fernandez tells me all the time. He's like, "Have you seen Mandalorian yet?" Like, so I'm assuming that it's good. I need to watch it.
Speaking of Jose Fernandez, shout outs to the young genius.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Jose, very talented. Me and Jose shared an experience this year. Since you want to hit me with the gaming question, this is turning into our gaming podcast. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Death Stranding?
I didn't play it.
See? That's the craziest game I played this year.
Yeah.
Death Stranding was incredible.
Yeah, I heard it's like a walking simulator. But then, like, Jose was telling me about it. He's like, you got to play it. And I was like, damn, but can I dedicate the time to it right now when I'm trying to get these dubs in Warzone? Like, so.
Very different from Warzone, but that's what I'm talking about, though. When I play a game, I want to escape. I want to go somewhere. I want to leave this quarantine situation.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to get lost in an adventure, Do
you have VR?
No, I don't. Nor do I have the space to really utilize it. I wish I did.
How about you, Silas? Do you VR? You have a VR?
Yeah, I have it. I'm playing this game called Half-Life right now. It's like the first like AAA like VR game. It feels so real that I can't play it that often.
Half-Life's a classic.
Yeah, and that game is like
Half-Life in VR.
Yeah, it's like a whole brand new game though. It's incredible. There's this one time I remember I was playing for like an hour and a half, and I got so lost in the world. I felt like I was in the Half-Life world. This like creature like came down from the top of a ceiling and like attacked me, and I didn't notice, I didn't see the creature come down, but then the jump scare kind of happened, and dude, like my arm in real life started hurting. Like I tensed up so hard. I was just like, yeah, I got to get off this right now.
What platform? Oculus, or what are you?
It's on Steam, but I have my Oculus Rift that just connects to my PC, and then all of that good stuff. But yeah, it was like,
you jump around your whole room. There's enough space for you.
Yeah, so you can set borders. So even if you're in like a small room, usually I'll just like, the way I'll play is I'll make it a super small border, and I'll do it sitting down, and I'll just have my VR headset, and then I'll have these controllers right here, and I'll literally just sit down and play the game, and I can move with the little thumbsticks and stuff like that, but it's just like you're in the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's incredible.
A couple times it is a very strange feeling when you're there for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play even 1 hour, even like 30 minutes, you kind of start to lose sense of reality.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's kind of scary too, because it almost seems like that's where we're going, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially in terms of like, all right, well, there's no concerts for 2021. Even when the concerts come back, motherfuckers might not actually want to go on tour and be in a room with a bunch of motherfuckers standing around sweating and spitting.
Exactly.
So it might be
virtual.
All up on the Oculus. Yeah. You saw what happened with La Flame and the Fortnite joint.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's where we're headed.
But now for that, does that limit the growth of an artist? Does that limit an artist like me, like you? Where we thrive, where we get fans, is in a concert. Is in that you build fans. The best part of being an opener on any tour is, okay, I'm gonna get at least this person. I'm gonna get people tonight that believe in me, And does like, dude, I couldn't go do a Fortnite event tomorrow. Like I couldn't, So like, it's like, does that limit the growth of an artist?
I think it does. I think we're in a very scary place.
I think so too.
It's all about discovery, right? Like,
right.
When do people discover new music? Like their friend when they're drinking somewhere, or they're at a concert, or they're in a club, right? It's like, oh, what's that? Let me Shazam that. Like, oh, he put that on. What? Like that's how people discover new music.
Yep.
I think that's why Damien and I talked about this on an earlier podcast. Like all the old stuff is being listened to a lot right now because people are just leaning on what they know, what they loved before. They don't know how to discover new
music. Exactly. 100%. I feel the same exact way. And it's like, it's a scary thing for an up and coming artist. It's terrifying because it's like, you know, it's to me, it's scary, man.
It
sucks to be delayed. I don't think there's that much to be scared of. I think it's just going to be delayed. You know, I mean, you're going to
well,
months, but
you're not the creator, so you don't really feel the shoes that this young man is speaking on. And I think that the scary part of the uncertainty is the follow through. It's like, okay, like let's just say worst case scenario, this is the new life for the next decade, the next 10 years. Like, let's just say it's like worst situation possible. Like, let's just imagine it. Like, bro, that's such a challenge for an artist.
Yeah.
To just reach new limits. And I think the hardest part about it, not even the scariest part, is just like, you just don't know what's next. And because you don't know what's next, you don't know what the next move is. Like, I got a million moves that I'm sitting on now in my book. Like, I can say I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do this here, there. But that's all pending on an operating world.
Yeah.
And if there is no operating world, that uncertainty is a mountain that seems quite unscalable with the resources.
100%. 100%. I feel the same exact way, man. It's and that's where I'm like thankful that I've been doing Twitch since before all of this happened, because it gives me a way to connect to people and more people a chance to find out who I am. So they see me and I'll hook somebody in with like how nice I am at a video game. And then like, I'll be like, you know, but yeah, if someone's like, oh, what else do you do? And I'm like, oh yeah, I make music. If you've ever heard of Logic, I'm signed to his record label. You know, go check out my music. And a lot of the kids that are frequents in my stream will be like, yeah, here's links to his music, to his Twitter, to his Instagram, stuff like that. Go check him out. He's like really good. And then that's like, boom, a new fan made for music. And then maybe they don't like the music like that. Maybe it's not their preference in music, but they like the stream, and that's a person that's willing to support what I'm doing. And then that's where it becomes like, in a time like this, it's like the kids that are in my stream, it feels like a family. Like it feels like really like a family. Like it's like these kids support me. They, you know, inspire me. And man, I had my birthday 2 weeks ago, last week or something like that, and a ton of kids made this like happy birthday video and like surprised me with it like on stream, and like watched it, and I was like crying the entire time, because it's like, man, that's why you make music. That's why I stream. That's why I make music. And it's like, it's not because of money. It's not because of fame. It's because I want to reach kids, and I want to help them, because I know how much music helped me in a time when I really need it, and still in times when I need music. So that's like my biggest thing, is always just been like connect. Like I want people to hear the music, and I want to help people with the music if I can, if possible, you know, and let kids know, like kids like me, and even kids that haven't lived the type of lifestyle that I lived when I was younger, like let people know that they're not alone, you know? So I think, and especially in a time like this, that's needed from people that even have an ounce of reach to people. Like let people know they're not alone, you know? And like, you know, we're all going through it together.
That's an amazing thing, brother. That's an amazing thing. The image of what you described is, oh, maybe an individual doesn't know music, but they're there to watch you game, and they turn into a family member just from that experience alone. You're talking about somebody who might just be completely into video games, doesn't even listen to the music, you know, like, but they're, following you and they're a part of your family because they love who you are as an individual, even just playing a video game.
100%.
I think that's such a beautiful, inspiring thing.
Yeah.
Is very much where this whole world is going to. It sucks, but this is the new weather climate that we're dealing with. A bunch of computers and a bunch of screens and a bunch of people sitting where they're sitting.
Yep.
And a bunch of applications figuring out how to arrange all of that and how to connect all of that.
Right.
That's what we're dealing with. You know, it's wild. It's really wild. What do you think concerts look like in the future, brother?
So when there's a vaccine, I think we'll be fine. I was talking to my barber. He comes and does house calls for me. It's like the only human interaction I have, and even that's like limited, I guess. But he's still so close to you, but it's like Lysol and everything, and hand sanitizer frequently, and you know, like you haven't been around anybody that's sick and stuff like that. But even he, like, it's not even just music; it's every single industry is changing. The capes you wear, like when you get your hair cut, disposable capes now and stuff like that, and like it's just everything is changing. And I feel like once there's a vaccine, people will be comfortable, and like the people that can get it will be comfortable, you know. I think the world is just waiting on a vaccine, man. Vaccine. The world is crazy right now, bro.
You fighting for that vaccine, Silas?
Yes, 100%, man. There's a lot of conspiracies and stuff, but man, I just like, I have asthma, dude. I can't risk getting that. I could die from it. You know, like I have asthma. Like my lungs are crap, dude. That's a reason why I don't smoke like that. Like anything, just any smoke of any kind. Like if I'm around somebody that's smoking a cigarette, like I'll start coughing like instantly. Even just in the vicinity. So
I gotta get some edibles, bro.
These are some edibles, so I could have lunch with Bugs Bunny. I'm all right. I don't know, man. And I used to love smoking weed. You know, I used to love it, but like I said, man, I don't think weed is toxic at all. Anyways, like I'm all for weed, and I know I'm gonna eventually go back to weed, but
they always come back.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. But even like microdosing and stuff like that, like I'm cool with that. You know, just like kind of just chilling out my anxieties and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, man, I don't know, man. There's parts of me, the conspiracy theorist part of me that's like, vaccine, they putting shit in my body, motherfucker. Like, I'm like, shit. I don't want to, but then I'm like, bro, if I get that, there's a possibility that I could die from that. Like, I'm a healthy young man, but still, asthma is like one of those things where they're like, yo, if you feel like you have these symptoms and you have asthma, you need to go to a hospital because they'll put you on a ventilator and stuff like that. And yeah. I don't know. It's just so to me, it's terrifying. And I'm already OCD, man. I keep, huge thing of Purell next to my, where I'm my workstation, and one next to my bed and one in my bathroom, and alcohol pads to wipe everything down. And, I'm super, super like wash my hands 30 seconds, super hot water, get all the germs off, stuff like that.
That's wild. The man of 2019 would probably have, Vaseline and cocoa butter and lotion next to their computer material. But my man's got a big ass gallon.
Got a huge
sanitizer.
1 liter sanitizer, N95 mask. Like,
he's ready to go. He's like, all right, let's get streaming, baby. Here we go.
Yeah, man, what? I'm telling you. And I wash my hands and then put on hand sanitizer right after, acting like I'm like touching people and stuff like that, but I'm just at the house. But that to me is just like safety measures, man. You never know, man. one of my roommates could get an order from DoorDash or something like that, touch the doorknob, they touch the bag of food, it gets transferred somehow. So I'm just so like, how do I stay safe? How do I stay healthy? You know, stuff like that.
Do you feel mentally that you get trapped in a rabbit hole of what's going on and what's the worst that can happen out of today's day and age?
Yeah, sometimes. Those are late night thoughts, man. Those are like, man, I can't sleep because I'm thinking about this. Like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do if this doesn't work? If this doesn't work,
a real question, though.
we got bills, we got this, we got that.
Right.
You know, like
I agree. That is a late night thought. Like
yeah.
I'll fall into that sometimes at night when the world is sleeping, and you can't help but just think about the worst sometimes. Like,
well, I'm gonna just let you know real quick. You ever thinking that way? You can hit me up anytime, brother. I'm gonna tell you that because I have those thoughts all the time too. But continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate your support in terms of conversation. I know you've always been one of those individuals that has kept their door open for conversations in terms of, you know, dealing with mental health. I remember one time I had a nightmare even, and I hopped on the group thread, the Call of Duty thread, and I woke up for whatever reason. I think this is like even before quarantine. This was like just in the wintertime, and I had a nightmare.
This was December. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were one of the first cats in the text thread that was like, yo, hit me up if you want to talk. Yeah. And we talked about it for like 30 minutes. And I thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Anyone that's listening to this right now, Silas is not the type of cat that would just say some shit like that and not actually do it. He's actually a real man, and he stands by his word. He has been there for me personally when I had a bad dream. Yeah. And, you know, that's why we're doing this podcast at the end of the day, because we want the world to know how important it is to have conversations with your family, with your friends, with your peers, with your colleagues, with your label mates, with your brothers, with your college homies, like whatever it is, like we want to destigmatize the taboo of having a conversation on what nobody wants to talk about. You know, it's this idea that people want to talk about everything else. How much gold they have, how much followers they have, what their next award is, what their status is on Billboard, and how many plaques they got. But nobody wants to talk about how they're feeling. Nobody wants to talk about a terrible dream that they had. Nobody wants to talk about, you know, their childhood or you know, things that are still wounds, things that are still scars and haven't had the opportunity to really heal properly because we've shoved a bunch of bandages and adhesives on top, trying to just sweep problems under the rug, you know? That's why I'm so happy that you came here today, brother, because, you know, I'm starting to realize the true benefit of this podcast is really pushing this very idea forward even more, having conversations with your friends about mental health. The more we do that, the easier it is. So the more of my friends and my network that I could bring on to have these conversations, so we explore different people of all walks of life, all genders. You know what I just realized, Brandon? We haven't had a woman on music and mental health yet.
Word, that's really bad.
That is bad. We've had 16 episodes and not one girl on this thing.
Yeah, but like a bunch of them are just you and I, so those don't really count, I don't think. But yeah.
Well, we're getting about half. We're almost at half special guests, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we need to bring on a woman, and I'm saying this to everybody out there because we all go through it. Like you said, Silas, there's no one out there right now who is truly alone because we are all dealing with struggles and trials and obstacles and just booby traps of 2020, man. It's so easy to get stuck. It's so easy to get caught up. It's so easy to get demotivated. It's so easy to get thrown off of your hot streak. There are moments when I'm thinking I'm on fire and I got it and I'm going and everything's cool. And then bam, like you said, that deep night thought comes into your head and just that slither of negativity can start eroding away your entire inner valley. And it's just we're so deep as individuals. Go ahead, Silas.
It's just such a for me, it's just such a, it's like the way this year has happened, there's just been like back to back things that have like happened that like try and break down, like it's just negativity, man. George Floyd. When I saw that video, heartbroken, upset, angry. Why is this happening? Why does this keep happening? And at this time too, and it's like, man, it's just like there's things that have happened this year that have just like, it makes you want to lose like hope, man. And it's like, it's like late night thoughts last night was George Floyd, man. The entire night was like heartbroken. When I saw that video, I cried, bro. Like I was like, there's this innocent man screaming that he can't breathe. I can't breathe. Like, and it's, it's, I don't know. It's just, there's stuff like that that's happened this year that is just like heartbreaking, bro. Like it's like heartbreaking, I
had a feeling that was going to pop up in conversation. It's terrible. It's really sad. It's scary. It's disheartening. It's so many things, so many emotions. And like you said, for right now, of all times, for that to be going on, it almost seems like the perfect storm, right?
Yeah. No.
It almost seems like just the right amount of chemistry for something to just go wild.
Yeah. And it's my question has been, there's jobs that do background checks all the time, and I know people that haven't gotten the jobs because of prior gang affiliations, but they're trying to get their life back together. People that have gotten out of prison cannot get a job because they went to prison. Completely different people when they come out of prison. Why does a police officer that is a white supremacist, how does he become a police officer as a white supremacist? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think one of the most disappointing parts, look, there's shitty people in every job in the world.
Right, 100%.
The shitty part about watching that video is like there's 4 or 5 other cops there. Like
just standing there.
Happen, and it's like, okay, I could buy that this one dude slipped through the cracks and, he's got this terrible history. He's a fucked up person, but they all watched him do it.
Yeah. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, man.
And they all got fired, but they need to get charged.
I think to answer your question is, how does a white supremacist get hired as a police officer?
Mm-hmm.
I think the only logical answer to that is there are other white supremacists.
100%. Within that branch, or in the entire United States. I forgot who tweeted out, man. I forgot who it was, but the police in America, that is the most dangerous gang in America. Police are the most dangerous gang in America. It's been proven time and time over again, and it's just it's exhausting. It's exhausting, and it's
go watch a video. It's a rapper. His name's Marlon Craft. I don't know if you know that name, but he did
New York, yeah,
really dope video. I think it's called Gang, and it shows like the different facets, like police as gangs, and then like the white supremacist gangs. And he plays a bunch of different parts, kind of like Joyner Lucas has done before. He's played the part. It's really good. It's powerful. Everybody should check that out.
Yeah, it's It's heartbreaking, man. The whole situation is just heartbreaking.
And then as a result, you got all the protests.
Yeah,
I understand the protests, but then they're all endangering themselves because of Corona. It's just like this terrible cycle, you know.
Like Damien said, it's like the perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect storm. The perfect storm for them to roll out the next form of security. Because if, as you notice, in some of these protest videos, they're overwhelmed by the individuals and the cars are driving away.
Yeah, I literally, right before we got on here, I saw a video where police cars driving away.
Yeah.
They're driving away now, but they will come back. And when they come back, you're going to get that storm, that perfect storm. And it's this situation is only going to get worse.
It's going to get out of hand, yeah.
I'm just so sad that it had to happen now, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just all the more reason for anything goes.
Right.
Because there's just too many terrible points in this story. You know, like how much can a house of cards take before it really tumbles? And that's what we're witnessing here.
Yeah.
And fuck, it's just like, why did... It's deep, man. This is so deep. We could go in about this forever.
Yeah.
Brandon?
We got a few more minutes here. I want to end on maybe a little more positive note.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's talk. What are you most excited for upcoming? You have music coming. Is there a video coming? Like what?
Yeah.
Or it doesn't have to be career related. You know, just what are you excited about?
I just put out merch. Very excited to put out my next line of merch. I feel like my next design is flawless. Like I love it. It fits my whole, just everything I've been doing, and I'm just excited to keep working on my project and to get all these ideas out and to keep streaming, man. To keep being consistent with streaming, and you know. I'm excited to keep growing into a great man that I know I'm, you know, growing into. So I'm just very, very excited and thankful to be in the positions that I'm in.
Yeah, I love the Stone Cold Steve Austin bad boy design that your drop was hard as fuck.
Dude, I gotta show you the next drop is like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like next level though. It's awesome. You'll love it, dude. I'll text it to you after this.
Are you a big Stone Cold fan?
I love Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Your favorite wrestler?
Favorite of all time. Him and Ric Flair.
Did I already know that, or did you tell me that, or?
I think I just have a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin shirts, so you might have seen me wearing one. I think and I just no, actually. At my at the housewarming party, I did the whole Stone Cold Steve Austin double beer chug thing, and you know, I think we had talked about that, man. I was just trying to do my best Stone Cold impression, man. He's my favorite, dude.
That's amazing, and you're actually rocking a lot of Stone Cold merch on tour, if I remember, also,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
so that's why the images stuck in my head.
Yeah,
that worked, man. That works very well for your brand, and the images are really fire.
Yeah.
Jose did those.
Actually, so Jose did. It was so many people involved in the first one, but the second one is this girl named Savvy. She's incredible. I want her to do like all my merch, man. She's so good at it. But Jose helped in parts with the first one, and she did a lot of stuff. And one of my buddies that has been following me for a couple years, he took some pictures. They ended up on the shirt and stuff like that. So it was a lot of people involved in making that happen, and they're all like amazing at what they do.
That's amazing, bro. No, looks great. Shout out to that homie, that boy Silas out there coming for y'all. When's the next joint coming out?
I'm taking my time, man. I'm a perfectionist. I'm taking my time. And what a better time to take time than right now when we have all the time in the world to take on it. but I'm just making sure that everything I say means something. Every line means something. No filler, anything. Just let me get all this stuff off my chest and let me do it in the right way and in a positive way. And yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. That's how I feel.
Do you think there'll ever be a point in time when there's too much time to take?
Yes. You have to draw deadlines. I have a deadline for myself. But yeah, there's definitely, I'm giving myself till October. That's till I need to have something ready by October. That's in my mind.
All the ladies are watching right now. They want to know. I got to ask, how's Post doing?
He's good, bro. He's good. He's chilling, working on beats all the time.
That's amazing. You guys are incredible. I miss you
sir.
guys, man. I miss America so much.
I can't wait until we can all hang out again. Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, like I said, we could go on forever.
Right.
But let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy up.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode 15.
16.
God, yeah. I was going to say 16, but I didn't say it. That was like on the tip of my tongue, and I didn't say it. We all make mistakes. Sometimes on this podcast, I make mistakes with numbers, names. It's something that I'm working on. But brother, thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate you.
Thank you, Silas. It's been fun, man.
Thank you, guys. Hey, I just want to say thank you guys for even allowing me to be on it, man. It was awesome. Probably one of my favorite talks I've had in a while. So thank you guys so much, man. I needed that one.
Looking forward to meeting you in person, man, for sure.
Yes,
exactly.
Sir.
When we get back into the studio, and there's an opportunity and you're around Venice, we'll bring you in on location.
Yeah.
We'll do it face to face.
Yeah, bro. I'd love to, even if that doesn't happen for a while, I'd love to be back. Whenever you need a guest or anything like that, hit me up. I'll make time for it. I love it, man.
Good stuff, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. That you're a real team player, brother. It's very, very nice to have you in the family, and you're more than just one of the greatest things that I think could have happened to
I appreciate you, brother.
The label as the newest addition. You're just such a great team member. You're such a great family member.
Yes, sir.
Such a great spirit. You have such a great heart. Thank you for what you do. Stay you, stay you, stay you, stay you, and fuck everybody else.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys, man. I love you guys, man.
Yeah. Cheers. Brandon, we love you.